Oh my goodness, you guys. So I figured out why it can be so difficult for so many of us to get ourselves into a committed relationship. It's because we lack the characteristics to be committed to begin with. Now, hear me out. So, like I said, this morning I had a conversation with my friend, needed them to watch the dog while I go out of town. They said yes to it, i.e., this is a decision. I've said yes, I'd like to get there. But then they put in all these blocks. But my life this and my life that and my life this. And I told them, okay, never mind, because it's obviously the thing about a decision is it's always either yes or no. And once you say yes, but then you put all these blocks up to getting to the yes, you start living in the default by no. And it's that default that becomes your life. Literally, you start saying that my life is getting in the way of living my hopes and desires. Now, here's the thing. If a relationship is one of your hopes and desires, you have to think about, well, what am I going to do in order to get to the yes of a relationship? And not only just to have one, but to sustain one. You need commitment. You need to be committed to the decisions that you make and actually doing the things that are going to get you to a yes. And if you cannot do that when you're saying, yes, a dog can come over so that you can actually get to the dog going over, then you're lacking the characteristics of commitment. And it's not like, oh, I can apply commitment over here and then withhold it over there. No, you have to embody that and give that to everything. Like honor, you embody honor and you give that to everything. Respect, you embody respect and you give that to everything. You don't pick and choose, who you get to be this upstanding person with. And so when you lack the ability to commit to your decisions, i.e., I'm willing to do this for you, or I want to go on this trip, or I'm going to do this one thing. If you lack commitment over there, you're going to lack it in every other department. So when it comes to a relationship, you're not going to be able, even though you may be bonded, and I think that this is what people do. They get confused. They get bonded to something. Like right now, you're not committed to your job. You're not. Most of us, if somebody came in and said, here's $5 million, we'd quit. There's no commitment there. There's no higher purpose to see. No, nothing is a means to an end. And so for the most part in life, a lot of us, we get bonded to situations that are a means to an end, but there's no real commitment there because there's no grand thing that we desire for us to reach that's going to allow us to facilitate something else. So we lack commitment and we replace it with bonding. And if you're bonded by trauma, no wonder why you're stuck in all these relationships that are trying to help you see what you need to do to heal, as opposed to anything to build with. So yeah, you're trauma bonded, you're bonded as opposed to committed, because you're lacking the characteristics to commit. So it's very important that when you start to make decisions, you figure out a way to follow through on them, because that energy of commitment follows you throughout the entirety of your life experience. Have a blessed day, you guys.